My name's Graeme Armstrong. I'm an author for Airdrie. I wrote a book called The Young Team, and I spent my teenage years involved with young team gang culture.
We're here to ask you a few questions about how you grew up with gang violence, how it affected you and those around you.
What was the most traumatic experience for you?
The most dramatic?
Traumatic?
Oh, I mean, to be honest with you, the violence I experienced in the community was really explosive at times, and it seemed to come out of nothing. But I get stabbed with a wine bottle when I was trying to change my life in university. My past caught back up with me. It was back in the scheme. It was at a house party.
Aye,
man. So I got stabbed in a house party.
Whereabouts you get stabbed?
In my back.
Aye,
man. I got battered off about 10 guys after a fight with one of their guys, and I get stabbed with a wine bottle. So I was very lucky. You know what I mean? To walk away from it.
How many fights have you been in?
I tried to count them all up, and I got to 16 before I couldn't remember any. And that's everything from being a victim of violence, for getting punched, or fighting, to full square goes, or to bigger fights. But loads of violence.
How many days a week would you get fully or on it?
Honestly, I would take drugs every single day. Every single minute I was awake, I would smoke weed, I would take blues. And then for the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, I would be boozing and getting full of Class A drugs all weekend. And so...
End up in some states?
Aye, man. Aye, bad ways.
What were the drugs of choice when you were younger?
We started smoking hash, like resin, hash,
cheaper.
resin. And then it started going to green, and that's when we started to see mental health getting a lot worse because it's a lot stronger. And then it would go into taking ecstasy tablets, right, and taking gear, cocaine. Some of my pals ended up with really serious habits on cocaine, and the amount of money involved in that drug is frightening at times.
No, that's a rich man's drug.
With debt, exactly. By the end of my career taking drugs, I'd be using Valium all the time. I'd be drinking myself to oblivion. An alcoholic, drug addict, absolutely. And in some mess, basically.
Who supplied you your drugs, all your weapons?
Weapons were often smuggled back for holidays abroad, so they were. Used to bring lockbacks back in the case, and my mum would take them all off me and chuck them in the bin, and I'd be hunting for it and it would disappear. Honestly, I'm so grateful she did that, by the way. So she could have saved somebody else's life or saved my life. Right? You don't realise that at the time. But drug-wise, I mean, my pals were selling drugs. We were involved with older people that were drug dealers, and eventually I would go in to sell drugs and be involved in all that.
What got you into that lifestyle?
If you'd asked me at the time, honestly, I couldn't have told you. But if looking back now, at 32-year-old, I would say, honestly, the death of my father had a huge impact on me. People used to say things to me like, "Oh, you're the man in the house," you know what I mean? You need to look after your ma. And the older I got, the more I took that to mean I need to act like a ticket, I need to act like a hard man. Right, if there's drink going or there's drugs going, I'm the boy. And very, very quickly I started getting involved in the gang and gang violence.
What support did you get when you were younger?
I always had family support. I was lucky. I had like a single parent who worked, and I had a loving home. That wasn't enough. The pulley gangs was so alluring and so powerful for me that, because my mum was there to support me, that wasn't enough.
How did your close friends and family feel around you?
Oh, man, I was very difficult to be around, I think, in the home because I was substance dependent, so I was drinking all the time. I would go out on Thursday and Friday night and I wouldn't appear back till Monday or Tuesday, so it caused a lot of worry and a lot of upset in my family. When I ended up really in a bad way later on with drugs, with mental health, it was them that were looking after me, so I didn't show them love, but they showed me love, you know what I mean?
How many people have you lost? What have you lost because of your lifestyle?
Honestly, I would think I'd be running out of fingers and toes to tell you all the young people that passed away for drugs, some for violence, sometimes taking their own life as a result of this lifestyle and substance abuse and all that. So loads of young people didn't make it. I think genuinely, apart from people, obviously, the thing I lost most was time. You're not young forever. You grow up and then you look back and you think, what did I do with my youth? What did I do with my life? Absolutely nothing. Stood in a street corner drinking buckfast, sitting in gaffs upside down. So, wasted time.
How many charges do you have?
I was charged about 15 times before I was 16, and as an adult I was only charged twice. So
What are you charged with?
assault, breach of the peace, possession, vandalism, theft by interlocked place, 6 times caught with drugs. Loads of charges, to be honest with you, but you can see the big difference between before 16 and after 16. And the reason why I've got so few charges as an adult is because I was in education. I chose that different life, and while I was still involved, I was starting to very, very quickly pull back for that. And I realised I just didn't want to have a criminal history. I didn't want to not be able to go on my holidays to America. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't want to go to jail. Whereas some of my pals would go into jail. I wanted something different for my life.
What is your proudest achievement?
Oh, you know what, like, it's hard to say now, you know, because I could say go to university was a proud achievement, that was a big one. But honestly, I'll tell you, getting off alcohol and drugs was my greatest achievement. Because see, the rest of them, they weren't powerful without that. You know, that's how I healed for that lifestyle. I've not drunk alcohol for nearly 8 years now, and I've not took drugs for 10 years. So, aye man, saved my life without a doubt.
What was your life like without social media? Because like nowadays it's all fucking social media kind of, like, that's how cunts start arguing and all that.
I would say we were the first generation that had social media, to be honest with you, because it was on like the PC and your muzz bit, right? You didn't have it on your phone. All our phones used to do was just text and phone, you know what I mean? In our childhood, when we were actually growing up, we didn't have phones, you know what I mean? So, aye man, you had to use your muzz phone to phone your pals and all that.
So see if you were like out with your pals and you seen another scheme, it was just basically like on site. It wasn't really like arguing, just getting each other like verbal or the phone. It was just really on site.
To be honest, right, like that kind of arguments between gangs where I started on the computer on MSN Messenger, so it was like adding people and all that, and then they would argue, and we would have like our gang name made up as a picture. So like your profile picture would be like your gang name with a collage and all that. So it all started there, and believe it or not, gangs actually used to build websites, right? And they had guest books, and people would argue in the guest books. It was creative, you know what I mean? So it was, but aye, that's where it started. See, the social media thing, right, for us is different. Right? We didn't have smartphones in our pockets. Do you think that increases violence?
Oh, it does, man, a lot, man. 100%. You can see if you're at mad with it one time or something, you could just be that mad with it, and you're posting on one of your stories for everybody to see where you are. And in the space of 5 minutes, man, that's you. You'd be fucked.
If you're in one of your fucking the country you're fighting with scheme, you're posting on your story, going like, I'm here.
Think you're some boy and all that.
Then they'll let that bang down there in 5 minutes because they know exactly where you're because it's their scheme.
People are wanting to be roadmans, wanting to carry about big fucking snowing lockbacks or carrying about like metal poles. It's actual rambles, choppers, just anything cunts can get their hands on that are big enough to seriously injure somebody.
You're a generation, right, you are bombarded with COVID, with cost of living, right? Do you think there's hope for a job or for a career?
I would say there's hope, aye, but there's no, but it's no hope as if you want to be where you want to be, you need to push for it, you need to try. You can't just sit back and not try and complain about what's going on about you. If you want to get out, you need to make sure you get out yourself and don't rely on anybody else.
What's the future hold for you boys?
Hoping to get myself a good job, a good paying job, nice family and that, just not involved in violence. I can go wherever I want if it didn't happen to me or any of my family members.
I just take a job and that so I can provide for my parents.
Oh, you just go to it. Just get away from it.
It's weird there because you ask boys that are involved in a street life and they just say exactly the same things as everybody else. They want a job, a car, a family. No unreasonable, is it? No, but it's more difficult for boys like us to access that, isn't it?
We went to school and that, like, got kicked in 4th year, got shipped off to college and we hated it. Obviously me and him were lucky enough, we got back into school, but they two weren't lucky enough to get back in. We got back in and we're trying, but the school and all the school system's just a bit fucked, I don't know.
See, when you are involved in projects like this, I don't know if you realise how important that is for the next generation, because you boys are becoming change makers, you know that? You should be proud of what you've achieved with this, by the way, because young people are in that cusp, they're just getting into the life that we know, right? I remember it being where you are, right? They don't know what's ahead, so honestly, just what I say, you should be proud of yourselves for doing that.